All right, so what we're going to do before we actually start modeling this hover cycle that she's riding, um, we want to kind of break it down into the simple, find out in its simple shapes what it actually is. Um, this is very similar to how we approach characters, and because Justin, the guy I worked with, was awesome, he actually separated the girl out of this, so we can just focus on what what we're actually going to be modeling here. We can see it a lot more clearly. So it's kind of separated into these parts. You've got your gas tank here. You've got your seat. You've got the engine, the turbine engine. You have got, your light, your odometers, your handlebars, and then kind of these pipes that go throughout in the kickstand, the kickstand. So it's actually fairly straightforward. The little bits we don't necessarily want to focus on. We want to block out these big shapes, and you kind of have to figure out understanding what this looks like in the side profile. So I went ahead and I kind of sketched that up too, and this is kind of the rough idea of what this is. Whoops. Of what this is. I had to refine the shape a little bit to get a better flow to it, so it kind of flows, kind of has an arc to it, but doesn't break the shape or the silhouette very much. So let's save this out real quick. Save as Moto profile. And then I'm going to show you another way to set up your reference image in ZBrush. So let's just take this, and let's say you don't have Photoshop. Or you just don't want to jump into Photoshop. So we're going to have our Moto reference, just our Moto ref image. So normally what I would do is black out all that is white in here, and bring this into bring that into ZBrush. But you can actually do that in ZBrush, and this is something that I learned from teaching a workshop with Shane Olson, the lead programmer of Pixelogic was there, kind of watching over, and I showed it. I taught my Photoshop method, and he's like, "Oh, you could actually just do that in ZBrush," and he showed us this little click. You just do this, and like, oh, magic. You would never know how to do this unless the actual programmer of ZBrush was there. So bring in your reference image with your texture, import it, and then click on it to make sure it's your main image here in your texture, and then hit the plus add to spotlight, and that will bring up your spotlight. So hit comma to get rid of that menu there, the spotlight, or the light box menu. And what we're going to do to get rid of all this white and just focus on the motorcycle itself is you select paint, tap on paint here, and then if I hold control and option, or control and alt, or command and alt, and then just tap on the white and then just start dragging, it just automatically deletes all that white color. Then you can just kind of click and drag, and just sliding one way or another, it will delete more or it will delete less. And just like that, we have that motorcycle all cropped out perfectly and beautifully. And you can just, oops, I don't want to rotate it. I just want to scale that down. and put it over here, hit Z, and now I have it, you know, ready to be my reference image. Make sure that you go to your brush and turn off samples, because things like smooth and all these little tools just won't work unless that sample is, or spotlight projection is turned off. So go to samples, spotlight projection, turn that off. Make sure that is off. And now we can go in and start blocking in these core shapes.